Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you guys had a great Thursday. Welcome to Friday. If we get a sound check on all channels, that would be super duper and appreciated. Shut up, phone. Like first thing. I mean, not even a minute into it, the phone's already going crazy. Let's go ahead and check in with everybody in the chat. Oddly enough, Rumble was the first one to say anything this morning, which is pretty awesome. We got Abby saying good morning, and Abby says, I assume that PEW preparedness is about guns and not the lasers from Star Wars. We used to have several of these things, but sold them after my father-in-law pointed one at me. Not nice. And let's see here. Where we got here? Let's see. Andy Pearson pops in. Bingo. There we go. He's also in DC, sucking it up. Okay, looks like we are good on the Rumble side. Let's go ahead and roll on over to the YouTube side. And also Abby first. All right, so over on the YouTube side, we've got old Jordan first and Deanna number 2. And oddly enough, Spags, you are deterred. We got Catitude, West Virginia Pappy, Bradley Collins, and Light Raider are in the house. We got Beecher. Nice. And it looks like my comms are good on both sides. Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Light Raider. Oh, let's see here. So as the guys, the YouTubes are after me. Apparently, there's only 6 people watching this on YouTube. There's actually probably more people on Rumble. There's more people on Rumble than there are on YouTube, which is really, really, really weird. But it is what it is. It's Friday. I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm just going to truck along. All right. So hopefully you guys have got your coffee. Hopefully you've got some plans for doing some stronger refreshments this weekend. But a couple of admin notes. So today is the last day that you can win this 12-piece survival kit. It's a pretty awesome kit. Hold on, I'm gonna crack it open here, and it's like it's not it's a $30 value. It's a $30 value. It's got a halfway decent flicker in it, and lots of other little bitty. I got good old flashlight here. I got the plastic. I better put the plastic back in that. I got my tactical combat pin. I got whistles. I got bells. I've got emergency blankets. All that stuff fits inside this tiny little water resistant case, and you can win it for the low price of going to the video that says if it's free, it's for me, and typing the word winner in the chat. It's all you got to do. We'll do the drawing tomorrow, and I'll put out a video saying who the winner is this weekend, and then we'll communicate, and I will be able to send it to you via the old USPS, completely free of charge. So let's see here. What do we got here? Let's see. James Trump 24 Price. Hello, everyone. I'm new and from East Tennessee, Sevierville area. Nice to meet you, James. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We actually do interact here on this channel. And Anarchy, good to see you, guy. I haven't seen you in a while, unless you're a different one. Hi, all from rural Minnesota. What do we got here? And looks like everybody is locked and loaded on the Rumble side. The next thing I'm going to bring up here is, guys, I'm going to do a little self-promotion here. I'm going to try and lure you in with some bells and whistles. And I'm going to be, my next giveaway is a Patreon-only giveaway. You've got to be a paying member of the Patreon, and you're going to win that, right? Yeah. Oh, there's so much light. This is the Bowfang. What do we got here? This is the waterproof Bowfang. Where are we at here? I'm going to take it out of the package real quick here so you can see it. Ta-da! That's without the battery and all that other stuff. This is the waterproof version of the Bowfang. I'm going to be giving this away to my paying Patreons. If you're not a member of the Patreon, you should be, because, membership has its privileges. I will be giving that away probably next week. And so you've got to be a paying member of the Patreon. There's a link in the description. Go ahead and check it out. If you believe what you see, then jump right in feet first. All right, let's see here. Also, Andy, thank you very much, guys. If you have not hit that like and subscribe button, it is definitely appreciated. So go and do that. You know what? I think I've got a thing here. Don't forget to check in and say hi. Pacha, something like that. And obviously, boom, boom, something like that. I got all sorts of buttons. I'm a one-man crew doing 5 men's jobs. Oh, speaking of jobs, little political note. So apparently the jobs report was released this morning and over 100,000 extra jobs were created. Woohoo! Blue tie wearing victory lap is going to be all over the interwebs. The only problem is unemployment increased up from 3 to 4%. Go figure. Lots of jobs, nobody in them. I wonder why that's happening. And I'm going to leave it right there. Okay, let's see. We're going to go back over here to the chat. Let's see. Wow, 12 watching. Like, hells yeah, folks. Good. I got you. Silent Warrior 79. Good morning from home of the brave outdoors in Minnesota. You're the second guy. Anarchy's out there in Minnesota too, man. Let's see here. Abby says that leaves me out. I got you. All right, so stupid phone. All right, so the reason for this particular subject came up. Like I said, I do actually vet all of these questions and then these subjects that I'm doing now through different preparedness groups. And the question I asked was, I've been thinking about firearms in my preps, and when studying my options, I've narrowed it down to the following main points, and I list 10 main points. 10 seems to be the magical number that the internet loves so much. Everything from situational awareness, concealed carry, firearms safety, legal considerations. I mean, all sorts of stuff, Let's see here. 100K versus millions not working. I guess it is what it is. It is what it is. But getting back on point, everything from shooting drills, situational awareness, and I'm fully aware that the YouTube algorithms will suppress this video, which is why it's very odd that there's so many people watching on Rumble versus not watching on the old YouTubes, and that's okay. So we're going to move forward. We're going to do good things. And I've got to tell you, firestorm of controversy on several of these platforms where I had posed this question. And literally people like, oh, I don't know why you're even asking this. This is this thing's going to turn into a total dumpster fire. And I was like, dude, opinions are everybody's got their own opinions. Perspective is everything because perspective constantly changes. And it should change. And, so I can't even tell you how many replies I got from this crazy ass this crazy ass question that I asked. Like, I've been thinking about this and I'm thinking about these and have I missed anything? They went nuts and none of it was good. No, actually, most of it was good. Most of it devolved into, you need this and create more of that. And, instead of just sticking to the points of the question, they turned it into something else. I got you. West Virginia Pappy is omnipresent as usual. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so let's just get into it. The first thing is firearms that I think of in my 10 things is firearms safety considerations. And you guys know how this works. When I do this list of 10 things, I want you to actually comment in the chat, and then I will read those out loud to the world when I've finished with my little bullets, and that way we can actually have a very simple discussion on this. But when thinking about firearm safety considerations, we want to talk about the proper and safe handling of firearms, the proper and safe storage of firearms, and that's controversial. We'll come back to that in a second. The transportation of firearms, which is really, really interesting. Cleaning of firearms and securing of firearms. And some of these little bullet points will overlap on top of each other. Good morning, Debbie. Good to see you. But Obviously the proper handling of firearms, never point anything that you don't intend to shoot. In the Marines, it's don't intend to kill. But storage of firearms, that is a tricky. Storage and transportation are the two key points here. Storage is actually going to have a lot to do with your local laws, and it's controversial because a locked gun is not a usable gun. It's just that's the truth. I think that it's important to be able to store firearms that you're not actively using or have prepared for home defense. But on the other side of that coin, you also need to have access to firearms whenever you need to have access for firearms, and then the other thing is transportation. Some states are really, really weird. Um, I I don't think I haven't ever done this, but I've come damn close. So I live very close to the Virginia-Maryland border, and Maryland has very strict firearm laws and firearm transportation laws. So I'm literally moving from an open carry state into a state where they can confiscate your firearm just like that. So literally, what I have to do is I have to keep 2 lockable boxes. They're basically ammo cans, right? With blocks on them, and I literally have to pull over before I get to the state line and unload my weapon and put the weapon inside of one box and lock it, and then put the ammunition inside of another box and lock it, and then close. You know what I'm saying? I keep it in my trunk and then put it in the trunk, and then take the keys and go up. The keys have to go into the cab, obviously. And so now I'm actually legal, but technically I'm still not completely legal in that state. Legal intent, I'm legal, but the letter of the law, I'm not legal because I'm not actually transporting through the state, and I'm not going from my domicile to a range. They have some unbelievably stupid laws. But if I were ever to be pulled over or questioned about it, the law enforcement would be like, yeah, you're doing the right thing. I firmly believe that. So those are things that you have to really think about, especially if you're moving through states. So looking at the chat right now, let's see here. We've got Deborah who says, shoot and don't shoot legal insurance and outs for your state. Yeah. We're actually going to cover some of that, Deborah. Let's see here. Abby says, we store our guns in a case unlocked. Not that kiddos are almost adults and trained, and ammunition stored elsewhere, but close by to easily lay hands on. Yeah. Here's the thing. I grew up with firearms in the house. I was always taught that firearms were they were a tool. They were not a toy. Yes, people enjoy shooting, but they're not toys in any way, shape, or form. It's the same mentality I was brought up with pocket knives. Pocket knives are tools. They're not toys. And so it has a lot to do with how you are brought up, when you start to think about these things. So, all right, I'm going to go and take a sip of the coffee. We've got a few people watching here and there. I think that's pretty good. What we got? All right, YouTubes. We got 21 We got 21 on the Rumbles, and we got 13 on the YouTubes. So if you guys could do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit the 1 button. It will help. It'll run the chat algorithm, and it will help draw more people in here. It basically forces YouTube to show through their own stupid algorithm to show the world the video. All right, so the next thing I'm going to move on to is legal requirements, and once again, it's all about we talk about the bullet points, and then while I'm doing that, you guys are interacting and typing what you're going to type, and then we can go to your comments afterwards for each bullet point. Anyway, so number 2, legal requirements. Oh wait, well hold on. Let's not jump the gun here. Abby says non-PP guns have trigger mechs removed. Got you. And West Virginia Pappy says gray area here. I'm driving country road, can be considered hunting situation requiring a gun and ammo to be kept separate. Yeah, I don't know what your state requirement is, West Virginia Pappy. All right, so like I said, too, legal requirements, and that kind of segues right into this. Understanding local laws, obtaining permits, knowing the restrictions, transportation regulations, and self-defense laws. So understanding local laws. Do you have a municipal law that talks about firearm, that has a regulation for firearms? That's probably an important one. That has a lot to do with city parks. Does your state law supersede a municipal law? You really need to, if you're going to carry a firearm, then you really do need to understand the laws. No, I'm not saying become a lawyer, but understand the law. It's almost like having all the answers to a test. It is available to every single citizen. You just have to go find it. Obtaining permits. This has a lot to do with like concealed carry permits. I don't know that there's any permits in any state that requires you to have a permit to have a firearm. Actually, no. Even New York is a concealed carry permit. Let's see, knowing restrictions. Can you go on to a state park? Can you go to a federal park? So on and such. And then obviously transportation regulations. Some states actually require you to transport firearms in like if you're transporting rifles. In North Carolina, I can take my rifles and put them in my back seat and just drive down the road. But in some states, they require you to actually have your rifles in gun cases. So, and then obviously the self-defense laws. If you're either open or concealed carry, then you definitely need to understand the self-defense laws in your state. If you're transporting to another state, you should know their laws too, because although reciprocity, if you're doing concealed carry, reciprocity, it covers you as far as concealed carry laws. It will not cover you for self-defense laws. You need to really understand the laws. Let's see here. We've got more people watching in Rumble, but we also got more slackers typing one. And you guys didn't do it either on the YouTube side, you some bitches. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's see. Hicktown Honey says last. Trying to listen in between patients. I got you. All right, I'm going to go to the chat over here on the YouTube side. I saw some rotation over there. Where are we at here? Viking Queen showed up. Good to see you, girl. Rose says, and Rose, welcome to the channel. You had to get your hunt license and permit to hunt on the farm fields. Simple yes, and you were gold. Nice. Okay, so that covers permits. West Virginia Pappy says, had to pass a law allowing to carry while wearing a mask here. Wow, that's insane. Let's see here. Lightning Raider says, in my state, local law cannot infringe on state law. Yes, North Carolina and Virginia are the same way. It's pretty mind-blowing. And you got these state law or these local laws that they'll write them and they won't take them off the books at all. And then they'll try and enforce them. So forcing you into a legal situation. And honestly, if that ever happened to me, it'd be like, hey, good to go. We're going to court. I've got some good lawyers. You guys are going to owe me a lot of freaking money. I'm never going to work another day in my life. Let's see here. Deborah showed up. Good morning. Oh, she's just saying good morning, Viking Queen. Let's see. Road trips are tricky. Yes, Jordan, they can be. Let's see here. I'm driving from Indiana to Arizona, and there are two with non-reciprocity. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You just have to lock your firearm when you're driving through that state. It's that easy. It's either that or you're in violations. You're a violator. All right, let's see here. None of that's important. All right, so looks like we covered that right there. If you are typing right now, then I will play catch up when you post it. All right, so number 3, training and proficiency. I cannot harp on this enough. And to let you know, before we get into it, I actually joined a gun club yesterday. Not a joke. And it was funny too, because I joined the club, and I paid my dues for the year and had a great meeting with some great people. And then as I was leaving, the secretary cornered me and said, "Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, we're technically, because in order to have these clubs in the state, they have to almost be ran like businesses, like nonprofits. So they have to have organizational backgrounds, which means that they have to choose which organizational background they want to use." And I can't remember I can't remember if it's like the National Gun Owners Association or the NRA. It's something like that. But I ended up, she's like, "You have to be a member of the NRA." I'm like, all right. So I got online last night, gave him my $45, and the kit's in the mail. So I'm a member of the NRA now. That's like a triple flag. This video is going to be. Matter of fact, I got a question for you guys. If you think that the NRA is a good thing, type the number 1 in the chat. Don't be slackers. Just get on it. Help me out. Help me, help you, help you, help me. Ian showed up. Good to see you, bro. Let's see here. But back on to point 3, training and proficiency, marksmanship. It's if you're going to carry a firearm, you need to be able to hit your target. It's that easy. You don't need to be hitting, whatever behind you, behind the target. You just need to be able to hit your target. I'm not going to get all nitty gritty about it. You don't need to be able to shoot a gnat's eye out at 1,000 yards. That's for very few people. It's not necessary. But if you have to squeeze that trigger, then you should know that where your rounds are going is where you need them to go. Abby says, what's with the one? Abby, it works with the algorithm, and the chat itself has an algorithm assigned to it, and it's also a way of interacting. So that way I know where people are thinking about things. Andy Pearson says, no what, Andy? No what? Let's see here. No to the NRA question. I got you. Yeah, I've never been a member of the NRA. And one of the reasons I've never been a member of the NRA is because I don't like the way that they conduct the training and certification of their instructors. Much of it is, it's all bull. It's all like, it's like to be certified to teach revolvers, you have to stand in front of a table with a revolver and then explain all the parts of the revolver, which is it's okay, and then load and unload the revolver according to their standards. And it's like, okay, so do I, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's always 3 ways to do everything, the right way, the wrong way, and your way. And if your way is better than their way, then it's still wrong. So I have a problem with it. I gave them $45 so I can be in the gun club. They're going to send me a nice little hat. I'll wear it on the range, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? No problem, Abby. But let's go to the chat real quick. Actually, let's finish this. Number 3, it was marksmanship, defensive shooting. You might want to think about defensive shooting techniques. You definitely got to work on situational awareness. If you're going to be either open or concealed carrying a weapon, you are now part of you're now part of the alpha predators that are out there, and you don't want to be a sheep if something goes down. So you need to have strong situational awareness. The use of cover and concealment, yes, you definitely need to learn how to do that and think about that too. And then constant, or should I say regular practice. Yes, I know ammunition is expensive, but it doesn't mean that you can't practice. There are other means of doing it. I met a guy the other night that he's like, all I shoot is hollow point dovetail rounds. I was like, that's great, man. If you want to shoot $3 a bullet, have fun with that. I'm going to shoot the practice rounds, But anyway, I'm going to go to the chat real quick right here. Abby says, has trained by my Girl Scout leaders and Army First Sergeant and a Navy mech. Gotcha. Love it. All right. So let's see here. Oh, YouTube's catching up. YouTube, we got 20 people, and Rumble, we got 23. So we'll see where the race ends, though. That's the real thing. We've got Light Rider does not like the NRA. Everybody else does. And that's okay. James is 1.5. Let's see. Rose says, I believe my father showed my brother how to handle the shotgun, but not me and my sister. We have learned on our own later in life. You know, I've taught every grandchild I can get my hands on. I've taught to fire a weapon, or should I say handle a weapon. But you know, it's interesting. It's fun. A Light Raider. I'm actually a member of GOA. So let's see here. Should have learned to either should learn to use either hand if possible. Gotcha. Ian says, if you can get a minute of man, I'm good. If I can get minute of man, I'm good. Okay. Light Raider says, me and my neighbors trained last Saturday on the last Saturday of each month. That's good. Rose Stoller, or just Rose. My past job, no time to practice. Now retired, can't practice. Gotcha. And Catatu says, West Virginia Pappy, that's good advice. Those will be hard-learned lessons. Yeah. You know, I had my first firearm when I was 11 years old. It was a shotgun. It was a 410 breech loader. And I was like, this is cool. And my dad's like, this is not a game. So those are all good things. All right. So the next thing is home defense planning. Now, when doing your home defense planning, you need to think about a couple of things. One, and first of it is your threat assessment, you know, and then you also might want to think about maybe setting up a safe room. You also want to have a communications plan. You know, if something goes down and you're separated, your family members are separated room to room to room, or maybe you're locked in a safe room and you need to communicate with somebody outside of it, things like that. You should also think about running some family drills. I know that a lot of people, I would say 1% of preppers do this, but running family drills can really help if somebody were to, if it was a, not a break in an entry, but a, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Put it in the chat when somebody breaks into your house and they're not supposed to be there and you're there. It's driving me nuts. Somebody put it in the chat. Anyway, and then also alarm systems. You know, I'm an advocate of Simply Safe home invasion. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it. Let's see here. I use Simply Safe on my properties, and I do not have the monitoring service. When that thing goes off, it is loud, and you can put sensors all over your house. So if you decide to try to break into my house, everybody on the block is going to know, because I'm the only one that has it, is going to know something is wrong, and you're going to have a bad day. All right, let's see here. You got breacher intrusion. Let's see here. Don't forget the complimentary soap, etc. Andy, I got you. All right, so let's see. Number five. Emergency medical preparedness. You know, if you talk to anybody who is in it, basically every cop now carries a tourniquet, you know, the good ones anyway, because the bottom line is that, you know, with law enforcement, they don't want to kill anybody. They just want to stop people from hurting other people or hurting them, you know what I'm saying, doing their job. And so they're not down to put people down. They're there to arrest people, to enforce the law. And sometimes that means, you know, giving them a couple of ventilating holes, and maybe they need a tourniquet. So that should bring the mindset that you need to think about the fact that you could become not only someone's first responder, but your own first responder. Okay. Andy says, I have 5 dogs, alarm system fed every day. Gotcha. Light Raider says have alert and safe words with each other. That's true. That's a good idea. But emergency medical preparedness in that section, you should have some trauma care knowledge because bullets generally create a massive amount of trauma. You should understand and know that you have a first aid kit as well as what's in it, how to use it, so on and so forth. You should definitely take a bleed control class. You can actually take them online for free. And you should know how to do CPR, preferably CPR certified. I think that the Red Cross still does this, but I think they charge for it now. But if you can get it done for free, then, if it's free, it's for me. And then the last thing is emergency response coordination, like knowing how to speak if you have to make that 911 call, the pertinent information, what you're going to need to tell the operator right up front. And I think that those are very important things. Like I said, because bullets just don't tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, I'm here." They cause massive amounts of trauma inside the body. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the chats right now. Abby says med supplies covered plus kits in every car, smaller kits for female carry bags. I got you. Let's see here. Let's see. We actually had a lot of action over on the YouTube side here. Deborah says, learn how to put tourniquet on yourself while defending your position. Bradley says, wow, set the phone down. Forget your show was starting. Missed 30 minutes. No, you never put your phone down ever again, man. Light Rider says, if you can make holes, then you need to be able to plug them. Absolutely true. Let's see here. Jordan O'Neill says, what age to start CPR? What age to start CPR? I mean, if you're asking me what age to, I think is if they can comprehend, if they've got the body weight to do chest compressions, then it's probably a good idea to start them as soon as possible. Nowhere Homestead showed up. Hey, what's going on, Brad? Good to see you. West Virginia Pappy. If you can make a hole, you should know. You already said that, man. Light Raider, after they have secured and suspect's weapon is seized. I got you. Jordan says the class. What age to start CPR? The class. I don't know if there's an age requirement. You'd have to research that. I've never been asked that. Like, how young will they allow a child to attend a class for CPR? I don't know. I would get up with the American Red Cross and try to figure it out. CPR class is provided 3 times a year by GS Council. I don't know what GS Council is. What's GS Council, Abby? Let's see here. Abby says 8 years old. Well, apparently Abby knows something about this. So while she's typing, I'm going to go ahead and push some buttons over here because it's time to pay the bills. Where are we at here? Who are we gonna promote today? I think we're gonna go ahead and promote. Where are we at here? You know what? I don't have. You know what? Do you have you know what? Since we're talking about tourniquets and stuff, we're gonna go ahead and promote Refuge Medical. I actually do have a code for Refuge Medical for prep stock that should save you some money, but I'm a slacker. I didn't actually update this because the code came in after I made this. I really need to update this part of the page. I honestly believe that Refuge Medical probably has the best IFAKs on the planet. Not a joke. They actually have a guarantee that if you save somebody's life with it, then they'll replace everything that you used inside the kit. It's pretty freaking awesome. Okay, Abby says Girl Scouts will do it 3 times a year. But guys, head on over to Refuge Medical. I don't even know if there's a link in the description, to be honest with you. So I've really need to get my stuff together. But Refuge Medical, they've really got their stuff together. So refugemedical.com. Go look at it. All right, let's see here. Comments. Nowhere Homestead says, let's see. Light Rider says, just ordered a Jace case on your code. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Nowhere Homestead says, I'm 45 and just went through it the first time in December with the FIRE defensive skills in Topeka. I wish I had done it sooner, but honestly, never knew there was a class for it. Yeah, there's a lot of tactical training out there. You got to, tactical or defensive shooting. There's actually a lot of it out there. Let's see here. Highly recommend doing CPR and stopping the bleeding training for everyone, though. Yes, 100%, 100%. Silent Warrior says, I worked at an armored car service and carried an IFAC on my vest along with a tourniquet. Yeah, it's just smart. It's just smart. And I think Refuge Medical, I'm pretty sure they still sell them. They actually have it's like a micro IFAC stop the bleed that goes inside of your plate carrier, inside the actual plate carrier section. I'm not, so my brain tells me that's, I don't know. Any place there should be a trauma plate behind, basically between the actual ballistic plate and your body. There shouldn't be anything in there, but they do sell them if that's something that you're into. So let's see here. Let's see. Abby says 8-year-olds for CPR training because of body weight, ability to keep count, and assumption of being able to speak clearly. So now you guys know 8 years and older. All right, so we're going to move on to number 6, firearms maintenance. Now, this is the little boring part, but it's kind of smart because you've got to take care of these tools. Otherwise, one day they may not work. So regular cleaning, inspecting your parts, lubrication, not going crazy. No one likes to get the hot oil bath if you put too much on and shoot it. Replacement of worn parts. That's right. Sometimes the parts in your firearms wear down, specifically the firing pin and springs. And obviously proper storage conditions. I know people that put loaded firearms inside their safe in case somebody gun points them right to their safe and says, open it. And they think that they're going to do something, which is possible. I mean, it works in the movies, right? Anyway, but the inside of safes, they're not really, their temperature isn't actually controlled. So you end up with mold and sometimes rust on your firearms, especially if you have wooden handled firearms. So something to think about, and the next one is what I'm calling ammunition management. Obviously the proper storage of your ammunition, the rotation of your stock, because there are some types of ammo that do not store very well. Specifically, some of the older Russian AK-47 rounds do not stock very well. Obviously paying attention to quality issues because some rounds are obviously better than others. And then you might want to start thinking about reloading skills, those are some things to think about. And then number 8 is, and this is where I hate to say it, but there's a lot of people that are just spending way too much time trying to be what I call tactical. And, there's a time and place for everything. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying don't train like that. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying here in the real world, Kevlar isn't cool, So something to think about with tactical gear and accessories are holsters, optics and sights, slings and straps, magazines and loaders, and protective gear like plate carriers and Kevlar helmets, things like that. But when we talk about these, if you guys think there's a place in preparedness for tactical gear, do me a favor, type the number 2 in the comments. That way we can see there's a delineation. And by the way, YouTube has taken over. YouTube has 22 viewers and Rumble only has 19. Gotta love it. I'm waiting to see all those 2s come in here. Let's see here. And while we're doing that, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Let's see. And if you're not paying attention, that's one of my kits back there. So it's on the wall. So there is definitely a place for the tactical or tactical gear. Let's see here. With while we're on that subject, um, when buying some of this gear online, there are clearly some reputable companies out there that make very solid, durable gear that will likely never fail you, and you are going to pay through the nose for it. But there are also companies out there there's stuff you can buy on Amazon that is just as durable and won't fail you, and they're only charging a quarter of what some of these big name companies are charging for. So when you buying these things, I would just basically buyer beware. You get what you pay for, but there are deals to be found out there in the tactical garment space. All right, let's see here. All right, so the next thing is situational response training. Now, I labeled it this way because there are variables in there because every situation is going to be different. Everything is not going to be a response in the home. It's not going to be a response at the local Walmart. Everything is going to be different. So it's going to be based on the situation. Let's see here. Bill King says, "Well, hello." Catitude says, "Maybe too if I knew what that included. I don't know." I got you, Catitude. I'm talking about actual like tactical gear, like people kitting up, and if they believe that that's part of what their preparedness journey is. But with situational response training, there are different ones. Like, is it an active shooter scenario? Do you see yourself as the good guy with the gun, and have you trained to do that? You've got the home invasion drills, which we were talking about before. There's that situation right there. What do the kids do? Where do they go? Are they part of the solution? You've got public space awareness, and that goes back to situational awareness. Are you paying attention to where you are, where the exits are, where the entrances are? Where are your escape routes? Where is your cover? Where is your concealments? Things like that. And then you've got, conflict de-escalation. You might be able to de-escalate a situation, or understanding how somebody may be trying to de-escalate a situation that you're in. You've got to really know what this is playing out in the situation, And then obviously emergency evacuation. There's no reason to get into a gunfight when you can easily just take 3 steps and be out of the line of fire. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just better not to do anything. Let's see here. Abby says, "I've attended 8 different car accidents, but am not an EMT or LEO, and my MOM kit helps me with every one of them." I got you. Let's see. Jordan loves, "Don't forget the warning shot." You might want to check your state to see if that's applicable. Let's see here. Billy says, "I watched a video yesterday on why the U.S. Army carries their EDC in their pocket." I do. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's on your body. Let's see. I got you. Catitude says, "Okay, change the 2." You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so moving on to number 10, the last one. Legal and ethical use of force. Okay. Before I go into these 5 bullets right here, I want to tell you guys that if you don't have your tickets for prepstock.net, you definitely need to get them. We actually have an instructor who teaches this regionally coming to teach this type of stuff. I don't want to use the wrong verbiage on the YouTubes because the algorithms will shut us down. But he will actually be there teaching these issues to I won't say teaching, I would say lecturing about these particular issues. From what I understand, he is very, very knowledgeable. He is like multiple certifications, multiple states, federal, and he is the guy to call when this stuff needs to be taught to people. So he will be there. Yeah, if you don't have your tickets, prepstock.net. Go there. Do it now. All right. Number 10, legal and ethical use of force. Proportional response. You know, you had to draw your weapon. The guy was shooting at you. You shot back. Camera shows you initially hit him and then put another 19 rounds in him just cuz. That's not a proportional response. So let's see. Duty to retreat laws. Some states have a duty to retreat. You have to run away in that particular state. If they corner you, then you can do things to them. The stand your ground laws and how applicable are they? You know, do you understand that you may have actually drawn that person into a trap before you had to use your firearm? You may have done it intentionally thinking that's how you survive, but you also may do it unintentionally. So be aware of stand your ground laws. They don't just work, you know, it's like castle doctrine. They don't just work cuz there's actually stipulations within them. Let's see, post-incident legal procedures. So post-incident, like don't talk to the police. I had to use my firearm in the defense of my life. That's it. But post-incident legal procedures, like what's going to happen after you fire that weapon. And then ethical considerations in self-defense, that's self-explanatory. With that said, I do have a damn it, I can't remember the name of the company. I really need to do a video on this. If you guys would like me to do a video on this, do me a favor, just put something in the chat. I don't care what you put. But I do have a company that I'm working with that I honestly believe is the best representative legal company for firearm charges. If you get into a gunfight with somebody, these guys are the best. And don't say USCCA. It's a real. If you guys are members of USCCA, I think that's great. I'm not going to talk bad about the company. Okay, what I'm going to tell you is that every time they engage with this other company, they get torn apart. They get torn apart. That's all I'm going to say. When I do get the time to make this video, I will definitely be talking to them. I would like to really actually interview the owner of the company. They're actually lawyers out of Arizona. They're not like, you know, and they're monsters in the courtroom. This is what these guys do for a living. So, you know, if I get into a legal situation, I want the very best I can get because my freedom is on the line. You know what I'm saying? So once I get that all together, I will definitely be making a video for you guys. So. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check the chat real quick here because we're all running out of time rapidly. Let's see here. Do it. Yes, please. And yes. And Abby says, oh, and of course, Andy, something. And Abby says, video. You guys are great. You guys are great. Okay, so I think that's going to be about it for today. If you guys like what I'm doing, do me a favor. As usual, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, guys. I try to do this 5 days a week in some way, shape, or form. I also make other ones. Jamie, I'm literally signing off, bro. Hello to you, my friend. You need to hit that subscribe button so you know when I make videos. As usual, if you want to support the channel, there are links below. Any one of them will support the channel in some way, shape, or form. As usual, stay safe. Have a great weekend, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. As usual, Patreons, you can find me in the Discord. Once again, guys, if you are not in the Patreon, if you are not a paying member of Patreon, you cannot win this waterproof Bofang radio. And if you have not gone to if it's free, it's for me, to the non-Patreons on YouTube, today is the last day that you can win this 12-piece survival kit. Absolutely 100% free. No joke. It's going to be somebody's. It's going to be somebody's tomorrow. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.